What up, movie disciples and good people of YouTube? I am Brian, the movie messiah, and this is There Can Be Only One.
There can be only one.
Now, before we get into this episode, make sure you guys hit the like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell so you guys are notified when I drop videos on the channel. And make sure you follow everyone that you see here on social media and obviously on YouTube as well. Enough of me talking. Let's get right into it. I'm passing it over to my moderator / co-host, my sister, who's been frequently on the channel. Give it up for my sister, Brittany. It's all you.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl, so Brian, movie messiah. He's going to go against an opponent and they're going to debate about a movie and or TV series. So I am going to be asking the questions and each panelist, they're going to explain. So kind of similar to Around the Horn. But before I go any further, let me introduce you to the man who plans on taking my brother down. And that is Ryan, aka ATL Ryan.
Whoa. Taking you down. I like it. Right out the gate. Right out the gate. She already knows what's going on.
Yeah, she's plotting against me.
No. So with each of them, each panelist, they're going to have about 1 to 2 minutes for each question. And then the opponent will have about a minute for a rebuttal. So since it's October and Halloween is almost amongst us, let's get into the spirit. We're going to be focusing on horror films. And the main question we'll be focusing on is, which is a better horror franchise? Is it Nightmare on Elm Street versus Friday the 13th? Let's get into it. Well, since it is his channel or whatnot, let's start with Brian. All right, so movie messiah, you have Friday the 13th. What makes it a better horror franchise?
That's simple. I mean, just look at the background. You have a setting of kids going out trying to have fun, and they're just getting slaughtered left and right. I mean, simple premise, simple, easy, and they keep redoing it, but they kept, building and growing upon it. So obviously, if we're talking about this, spoilers filled all over the place with both of us. But in the first one, it's revealed that it's like a mystery whodunit. You find out it's the mom. She's out for revenge. Everybody loves a good revenge tale. And then the sequel, come to find out that Jason isn't really even dead. And he's out here, chopping heads off. And he hates people out here, enjoying themselves at the camp because he's supposed to got murdered there and drowned. So he's out here, taking names and chopping heads off and keeps growing and growing from there. They had a whole bunch of different killers left and right. I mean, you had Jason, like I said, the mom, and you had the one in part 5 where it was the dad who got mad about some BS too. So he had a bunch of killers. Jason got a bunch of different looks. He had a look where he had the bag over his head. He had the mask that came out in part 3. And then he turned to Uber Jason. We had went to the future and Jason X when he had the silver mask on and the red demon eyes. And then he turned to Super Saiyan again when he turned to the remake, and he was like 6'6", 6'7". He was looking like LeBron James, and now running people down, chopping people up. So they keep reinventing it, and it keeps growing, and it keeps getting bigger. Now, it's false, it's false, but it's so good. LeBron James trying to get a crack at it. And I think they're going to get it done at some point because it's been in, weird territory, but it's simple. It's fun. Also, it puts you on there letting you know that you shouldn't be having premarital sex when you're young. It showed about abstinence, and that's why Friday the 13th is a better horror franchise. Keep it in your pants, and you won't die. Classic slasher rule.
Keep it in your pants. Okay. All right. Well, we have from LeBron James to pretty much abstinence. Cool. Ryan, what you have?
All right. So definitely can appreciate the thought process that goes into what makes Friday the 13th a better horror franchise. But I think what you're missing is the relatability of the movie and how it can play with your mind over and over and over again. What makes A Nightmare on Elm Street a better horror franchise? Well, I believe it was said in the movie Freddy's Dead in this franchise that there is an Elm Street in every town in America. It doesn't get any scarier than that. So check it out. You're in the big city. There's an Elm Street. Back home from where I'm from, small ass town. What road did you not ride your bike down? Elm Street, because you didn't want Freddy coming and getting your ass. And every time you rode down it, it was always the weirdest road. And I will probably stick to that to this day, that if you live on Elm Street, this is a weird road. You got some weird houses, some weird neighbors, everything. So Elm Street was everywhere. This man comes after you in your dreams. People want to have dreams. And what do you have? This man coming out and getting you in your dreams. So you're talking about he's out at the woods. Is he dead? Is he not? Hey, it don't matter. Freddy is in your dreams. So he's coming to get your ass no matter where you are. You can keep it in your pants if you want. It don't matter. Ask Johnny Depp. He found out in the first one. Fly traps. All of the horror franchises have that one moment or that scene. And you sit there and you go through the Freddy franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street, the whole 9. You look at it and there's always that killer scene from every single movie that you're like, yo, do you remember the fly trap? Oh, do you remember the waterbed? Do you remember this? Do you remember that? And on top of that, they made a movie called Freddy's Dead, and he didn't die. And on top of that, they didn't have 9 different spin-offs to have Freddy reinvented. It was the same Freddy, A to Z. Robert Englund killed the role, and it's nothing against the guy that played Jason. Freddy's just a more scarier character than Jason. Jason, big-ass dude, F you up wherever you're at. Yeah, that's scary as hell. But this man lives in our realm. Freddy can go back between both of those realms, which is why Freddy is the heavyweight champ of all time. Call that man Muhammad Ali, because this man is coming for you regardless of where you're at.
I think I have something for that.
I hope so, because there's an Elm Street in every town. Friday the 13th only happens once or twice a year. So what do you have against that? You have nothing. Once or twice a year, and then you kind of circle it, and you're like, "Oh, it's Friday the 13th." No,
exactly.
Elm Street is everywhere.
Exactly. You see Friday the 13th, you start looking around like, "Oh shit!" You start checking your calendar, and you start checking like, "Yo, what day? Like this? What month?" Especially if it's in October, you start really freaking out. Then you trying to check and make sure it's not a full moon. Crazy, some other crazy shit might happen on top of Friday the 13th. It just weird stuff might happen. You see Elm Street, I just turn around and not get on that street. Like a girl told me one time she lived in Elm Street, and I was like, "I guess we're not going out tonight." So I didn't pick her up. I said, meet me down the street. Which brings
the point. If she lived on Elm Street, you weren't going out with her because you were afraid to go down Elm Street.
Possibly. I will say this. Like people have weak minds. Like Inception taught you anything, you can change your dreams. Or if you have the power like Green Lantern, or you have willpower, you can change your dreams. Friday 13th, Jason will come after you. He's relentless. Jason went to Manhattan and was choking people out. Was he only there for 20 minutes? Sure. But he still came to Manhattan and was effing people up. He threw people in toxic ways. And he punched a man's head clean the hell off. That black man had no hope. Okay. Freddy, I feel like I can throw hands with Freddy. You saw it in Freddy versus Jason when they was throwing hands. Jason was beating Freddy's ass. And then he got him at the end when he threw his own claws through his chest. So I don't know.
But Freddy versus Jason, at the very end of it, if you remember, Freddy was the one that came out on top, even though that portrayal of the claw, Freddy was the one laughing because it was Dream World. And let's not forget, Jason went to space.
Exactly. He was futuristic with it.
Yeah, he did.
He went to space.
He was ahead of his time. Freddy hasn't been to space. I'm just saying.
All right. These some good points. I don't know about y'all. It has me thinking. I don't know. I'm kind of lost right now. So let's make it even more challenging. Let me throw out this next question. So since we're talking about these two films, which is the best movie in the franchise? And if you could you rank them? I'm going to start with you, Ryan.
All right. So the best movie in the franchise, and I still stand by this. I said this in the last debate that we have. It's always going to be that first movie. The first movie sets the tone. There is no this without that. The very first Nightmare on Elm Street is iconic. It really set the tone. So in my opinion, that is the best Nightmare on Elm Street that they had. The reboot that they had most recently, it was a very, very good film. It definitely dove into the history of the character Freddy. They gave it a lot more flesh to it, and I thought that they did a better job storytelling in that version of Nightmare on Elm Street. But the original was definitely the best. My favorite out of all of them is I don't know which number it was. I'd have to actually look it up. I feel like it was 3, 5. I don't know. But Freddy's Dead was my favorite. primarily going back to the gaming one, because there was that video where the guy was Freddy was playing the guy and he was jumping. Like it was ridiculous to me, but it was very funny to me just to watch that. And then it had the song that later was remade, "The Hip Hop Is Dead" by Nas. It was that original song that was in the background, the rock version of it. I don't know the name of it, but that has always stayed with me. It's my favorite movie. It kind of brought closure to a film and a franchise after several years. I think when that thing came out, I was like 8, and I was super afraid. My parents scared the hell out of me and were like, "Yo, Freddy's underneath your bed and he's coming. He's not dead." So they never did that with Jason. They never did it with Jason. But all in fairness, and I'll throw this over to you, Brian, but hockey masks, they kind of were creepy, and it was all because of Jason. So I'll definitely give that to Friday the 13th.
Can't get mad at that. Like the original for Nightmare on Elm Street definitely like set the tone. Like, yo, that's some creepy stuff. I like to remake myself. I'm not gonna rank it since there's so many. Since Jason is so illustrious, he has so many films. He has 12, if you're including Freddy versus Jason. But I'm not gonna list all of those. I guess if I was ranking them, I would say, honorable mention or 6. I would say it's like Freddy versus Jason. They're just something we had never seen before. It was fun. I remember going to the theater. It's getting somebody to pay for the ticket, have me and Anton to come in, and we ran into like James Holmes and other people in there in the theater watching it. That was a good time. Number 5, I like the remake, Friday the 13th, 09. It was like super cliche, but it was like classic Friday the 13th stereotypes. But Jared Padalecki, aka Supernatural, Sam from Supernatural, he did his thing. Like his character was actually like really good in that, and his sister was good. And the first 20 minutes, like it felt like a totally different movie. Like Jason on a whole nother level of energy wise. Love that. Number 4, I would say Friday the 13th, the original 1980 version. Like I said earlier, you had the mom coming out killing people. And from there, I would say Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. It was kind of over the top and ridiculous, but they knew what they had, they knew what they were doing. So they're just like, just go for it. And then I would say number 2 is Friday the 13th, part 2, because that's when Jason finally got introduced in the film, and he was going around murdering people with a bag. Love that. And then I would say number 1 is Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter. See, this is one of the rare times when one of the sequels is better than, in my opinion, than the original, because he was going hard in the paint with it, and introduced Tommy, the little boy, aka played by Corey Feldman, who had like 2 other movies came after that. So they was killing it. Just on top of my head, those would be like my top 5. Personally, in favor, like it goes back and forth between part 4 and the remakes. I just like remake. Remake was like nonstop, and Jason was running like a 4-3 in that one with a machete. He was 6, he was literally like LeBron James. He was like killing people. He had archery going. He had the whole shebang. Also, Jason had creative kills. So that's my list.
For a chance to rebuttal, if I may. All right, so here's also a reason why this franchise is better, the Nightmare on Elm Street. So the Jason Voorhees licensing and the Friday the 13th licensing is so jacked up that's the reason why there are so many incarnations and reincarnations of the character. The whole franchise is in disarray because it starts here and then here and then here and here and here. And that's the reason why the movies change from Friday the 13th to Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason Goes to Space, Jason Lost in Space, Jason in Your Toilet. Like it's just everywhere. And that's the reason why the franchise is a wreck. Wes Craven, hands down, like the horror god of all time. Outside of Alfred Hitchcock, maybe, but it was all the same thing. And so even the last, the one that this poster is from, Wes Craven was still involved in it. It's just Robert Englund he was too far in the acting career to reprise the role. So yeah, there was creative kills, but you are also taken away from the creative kills that Freddy had with people. And I think you take away from the ultimate point of a horror movie. It's to scare the hell out of you. And are you more afraid to go into this creepy lake scene or into Manhattan, or are you afraid to go to sleep because that's where he comes to get you? And so no matter where you are, if you sleep, he's got your ass. And so you're pumping energy drinks and caffeine pills. You're doing everything just to avoid going to sleep. And I loved what they did in the last franchise when Quentin was talking about it, and they had the dialogue, and they were like, if you deprive yourself from so much sleep, you can't tell what's real and what's sleep anymore. That's scary as hell, man. Like, they were asleep and they didn't even know it. And that was the premise of all the other movies. Again, it's another knockout blow. I mean, that's what do they score it in fights? 10-0 run. I mean, that's round 2 for Nightmare on Elm Street coming out with a 10. Next.
I disagree. I mean, I feel Jason's relentless. Like I was saying, like he's an unstoppable force. Like he just keeps going. Like he's been reincarnated, and he was like he had a parasite that was going on different bodies, and Jason goes to hell. And he was like, I'm like, Jason hop in your body. I'm like, wouldn't that be terrifying? Like you wake up and your son is Jason. I'm just saying.
Jason is a cross between Pugsley and Fester Adams. So I don't know at the end of the day, like
Freddy has a sweater and some knives. I feel like I can slap Freddy up in my dreams. Like I'm good. But
all right, well, go try your chances and let me know how it happens. All right, because thus far it has not worked out well.
I will. I'll let you know how it goes.
Right. Bing, bing. All right, y'all doing fantastic. Awesome. Got me laughing and I'm scared at the same time. Who would have knew? Okay, so last up, Brian, since you are movie messiah and everything, so could you pitch a sequel and or spin-off TV series with either Hulu, Netflix, or FX?
All right, sequel or TV. Not even a sequel. It'd be like a reimagining. We're gonna have Jason. This time it's gonna be set in the snow. So let's say it's set in like the suburbs. Or like the outer suburbs, but let's say it's set in Chicago. So it's the snow. You never seen Jason in the snow killing people. First of all, the aesthetic is gonna look freaking phenomenal. So you can have a big lurking 6'8" mother effer like LeBron James going around, and he's still gonna be fast. He's gonna have the same speed, maybe even faster. He's gonna be out here running like he's Usain Bolt with the blade. Actually, he's gonna be tall. He's gonna be like Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can't say his name. He's gonna be tall. He's gonna be 7 feet, lanky and fast though. So Machete is gonna be crazy, and he's gonna be going after Tommy's son. So Tommy's son moved to Chicago. Went out to the lake and remember his dad, because his dad ended up getting murdered at some point by Jason. So Tommy's going out for revenge. So you think he can handle him, but everybody keeps saying like it's an urban myth. It didn't happen. Tommy's son comes across Jason, and they have the big battle. It goes down in the snow. That's all I'm saying. Jason in the snow will be fire. That's all I got. Sequel in the snow, 2022 is coming soon.
Jason in the snow. Okay.
Yep.
That's all I see. All right. Well, Ryan, same question for you. What about with Nightmare on Elm Street?
It's going to go back to Springwood. So the last that we knew. And this is the highest grossing franchise, or the highest grossing movie in either franchise. Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th. Freddy versus Jason. The highest out of both of them. We're going to pick up where it left off because his head, and he winked. And that's what I was alluding to. Mm-hmm. Basically letting you know that he was still alive. And that's where we're going to pick back up. So we're going back to Springwood. Everything seems like it's well and fine, that the people have completely forgotten about Freddy. And then all of a sudden, what's going to happen is you're going to start to see a series of kids having these illustrious nightmares. But no one's going to die. They're going to have these nightmares throughout the movie. And instead of them dying, they're going to wake up just like we do at the very, very end, right before you die. And you wake up and you're just scared and you can't figure it out. And it's relentless, just crazy type of stuff. But it's all going to be reimagining all of the prior movies. So that video game scene is going to hit. The fly trap's going to hit. The bed, the flames, and everything. All that's coming back. And they're all going to be seeing it until the very, very end. Right when you think that the person's going to wake up, there's going to be one person that bites the bullet. But you're not going to see it. And you're just going to hear the claws clamoring. And that's where the credits are going to bang. And that's going to bring you back into Elm Street and completely write out the Jason Voorhees part. And that's how that franchise is going to continue. Not to cut Jason out, but that's how you reboot the franchise in a different direction than what they already did. By not showing one single kill and having those kids scared out of their mind, you're going to wonder what happened to that last person. And then you're going to be back for the next one. And then at that point, you can take off and run. You could even pitch, separately another franchise, and you can say, all right, well, Freddy messed with Jason, came back of his mom in the Freddy versus Jason. We're missing the third contender in the heavyweight, which is Michael Myers. Let's just go ahead. Let's bring the trifecta. Scratch the last movie I just talked about. We can do that. Or you can go this direction and just say, hey, we're going to have the three Titans going at it. You're going to have Michael, Jason, and Freddy. And we'll let you decide in the comments below who would win that three.
Okay. That does sound very intriguing, with Freddy not killing anybody, or just the idea of like him reliving like some of the greatest hits.
I mean, you're going to pull all these people through these different kills in that moment, and the kids are just going to keep awake. I mean, you could cast whoever you want in this thing. I mean, then they can come into that next film and then they can have a different narrative. But you could revisit all those iconic kills. Because let's face it, whenever you watched Nightmare on Elm Street, you were always at school with your friends, whatever, and you were saying, remember that kill? Like, and then that's what stuck in your mind. So just reimagining and reliving that. I mean, maybe it's not scary. It's more suspenseful, but that's how you're getting people to buy back in. And then it shows that, no matter what happens, Freddy's going to live forever.
I think that sounds like an interesting TV show, especially if we don't kill everybody. Like, we keep leading up to different episodes. That might be a TV series, but I can't lie, I dig the idea.
It's just a different spin, Like, I mean, we've seen different kills throughout, all these different horror franchises. I mean, so do we need to reiterate the killing part? I mean, maybe. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's a slasher horror film, but maybe flip it. I mean, that's some Alfred Hitchcock type stuff. Like, don't M. Night Shyamalan on everybody and just completely ruin the movie. Just put it out there, throw it, see if it sticks. I bet you it will.
So we got Jason in the snow, and we got Freddy jerking you off, like teasing.
It's Freddy coming back, yeah. And it's like, I mean, I don't know if we're going the whole, what you were just talking about here, like that's not happening. But it's not to get the gore and grotesque out. It's more suspenseful, and then all of a sudden, go to the races and go.
Okay. Great point, y'all. This kind of just showed me I don't want to go to a lake with my friends at dark time, and sadly, I don't want to go to sleep. So
big machetes.
I don't know. I don't know. All this suspense, but it still comes down to me thinking of a winner. So I'm gonna base this on the Messiah score, thinking about everything y'all said about your franchises. Need a drum roll.
We can't afford that.
Would have to. Oh, no drum roll. Okay. No. I would have to say I'm going to give Nightmare on Elm Street a GTG. Good to go.
I gotta check this out. GTG.
Because all those franchises, especially with how you were saying it, and it was suspenseful and scary. Now I'm kind of having playbacks in my mind. I'm kind of scared. But those were some awesome films. I'm just saying. From the jump rope into even the little kids, now I don't even want to think of nursery rhymes. I'm scared again, and I don't.
Yes, I didn't even hit on that. So
yeah, I'm just not, kind of thought of that, but I ain't want to.
I dropped the ball on a point, but whatever,
I'm sorry, but
wait, so he's the winner?
Yeah, I would have to say Ryan, aka ATL Rain, is the winner.
Let's go.
Sorry, Ryan.
And what I'll say, you were gracious in the last one, so I will throw this one, back to you on this one, because I appreciate the opportunity to come here and just talk movies. It's not necessarily my best forte, but horror movies and all that is just definitely it's always fun. And if you haven't done so already, I'm going to put this as the plug. Check out the Terrifier 2 trailer reaction that we did, because I love the franchise. I love it. You got to watch it. So in my victory, that's all I'm going to say. And outside of that, I want to toss it back over to Brian, the movie Messiah himself, to tell you what you are most looking forward to movie-wise, horror or outside, or even let's poise this. What are we going next on for There Can Only Be One? Give him the teaser.
Oh, man. Appreciate you for throwing it back over to me. Well, one thing that people should watch if they haven't seen it, Sinister. If you can find that movie is disturbingly scary. It's one of like one. I was, I'm literally like, I'm freaking out. That's definitely something you should watch. And I guess a teaser.
It can only be one.
Yeah, yes, a teaser for the next one. It will, let's say, you hear the iconic theme music, maybe of Halloween night, and maybe Hello Sydney.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh Lord.
I'm just throwing that out there. It could be. We shall see. Can't get mad. I dropped the ball on a couple ones. I should have said, Jason had the.
Yeah. We both missed the audibles.
Yeah.
But like when you're coming out and you're trying to swing for the home run here, neither one of the audibles. I mean, I don't think it's what's going to set that franchise apart. At the end of the day, you're not driving down Elm Street. Brittany not driving down Elm Street. I for sure ain't riding my bike down Elm Street. So, that's just what it is. So, and don't fall asleep.
Yes, that will be it. I can't win them all. This is fun as usual. I mean, I got to thank Ryan for joining me once again today. And I got to thank my sister, Brittany, for being a fantastic moderator and co-host. And make sure you guys follow everybody on social media and follow Ryan on Twitch and on his YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel as well, where he's dropping some great clips from his Twitch on his YouTube channel. I'll definitely put everything down below in the description. And make sure you guys are following the channel. So make sure you guys hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification bell so you guys are notified when I drop videos on the channel. And we definitely want to know what you guys are thinking. Whose side are you leaning on? Are you leaning more towards Mr. ATL Rain with Nightmare on Elm Street? Or are you leaning more towards myself with Friday the 13th franchise? Which franchise is better to you? Post comments down below. Look forward to hearing all your thoughts. And if you
keep that thing in your pants.
Yeah, if you don't, you die. That's what pretty much happens, okay? And that's it for this Only Be One. I am Brian, the movie Messiah. Base 5, let's ride. What do you say about keeping in your pants? Do that.